Welcome to the Fatherhood News Podcast. Please follow us here and subscribe to us on YouTube for your daily news headlines of all the news from the fatherhood space in Elite Dangerous. Here are today's headlines on the 13th of November 3306. Good evening, I am Hannah Williams.
And I am Jim Cooper.
We start today's broadcast with the terrible news that the planetary base of Rubrook Enterprise in BD plus 69-238 suffered a terrorist attack. Our reporter Katie Black is outside the scene now. Katie, can you tell us what's the latest?
Yes, Hannah. Eyewitnesses say that they saw a Type 9 belonging to the BD plus 69-238 posse land in bad shape. It had no active shields, and it looked like it was corroding from the inside. A loud humming sound was then emitted, and within seconds it exploded on the docking bay.
And what have the authorities said regarding this?
Local Fatherhood security have locked down this docking bay and its surrounding bays, and they are now not in use. We can see specialist teams equipped in anti-Xeno battle suits entering the area. The citizens here are panicking, fearing that they may contract Xeno infections.
Have we heard from any other faction regarding this attack?
Yes. The BD plus 69-238 monarchy have said that the blood of the citizens of Rubrook Enterprise is on the hands of the Fatherhood. It is their own fault for allowing the posse to operate in underground black markets, and they hope that Central Command has learnt its lesson.
Katie, thank you, and please stay safe out there.
Thank you, Hannah.
In other news, the prison colony of Tanner Penal Colony in Warnates has reported that Commander Hotpoint and a number of his associates have managed to escape in the riots that erupted today. Officials say they escaped like earth rats in a hauler that was used to supply the prison. Their whereabouts remains unknown at this time. Central Command have asked to be contacted if anyone has any information on this criminal or his associates.
Remines is now an all-out war. The star system that was heralded as the fortress of the fatherhood is in flames today. The power struggle continues in Remines with an election between the Blue Life Systems and the Orion Space Security for control of Nye Settlement, and a civil war that has seen a flood of refugees come to the fatherhood for shelter. Remines Dominion leadership have accused the fatherhood of a propaganda campaign against them.
This star system was at peace, a native-only star system. Then the fatherhood came, not in ceremonial orcas or liners, but in corvettes and fleet carriers. They say they want to terraform and support this system to grow, but all the while pulling the strings and manipulating every faction against each other. Wake up, open your eyes, we were a family, and now the seeds of hate and distrust has been sown by these intruders.
After the war by the Hodor Network and the Shetty Front, the market opportunity to profit from the medical requirements of both factions, a new civil war has erupted in Shetty for the intensive care White Pond Hospital and the specialist rehabilitation center that is housed in Corzine City. The Shetty Democrats and the Shetty Jet Transport Incorporated have both sent forces to strategic defensive and offensive conflict zones in the hope to monopolize this booming sector within this star system.
Liberty Party of Uchala Roja have surrendered to the Progressive Party of Uchala Roja. However, they have called on interstellar investigators to review the possibility of a number of war crimes, following the attack on the civilian water supply and the execution of their fleeing commanders.
The GD69 League forces continue to dominate on both fronts, with the Kier Dynamic Company's assault on dynamic energy analysis failing to make any advances and taking heavy losses, while the purple transport industry in Uchala Roja are forced to retreat from their attack on Hoffen Enterprise. Uchala Roja Travel Industries have said they saw a boom in their economy after the GD69 League chartered flights for all citizens of Cooper Enterprise prior to this war.
The ceasefire in Shuttleworth Terminal and Hertzfeld Depot was shattered today, and Green Party of Zasha forces attacked the ceremonial convoy that came into difficulties in the shipping lanes of Manamaya. The wedding barge was destroyed and no survivors were found when search parties attended the combat aftermath signal source.
Moving on to election news, the Badaba Gold Fortune industry claim a second day of victory over the Badaba Interstellar faction, with long-range ASP explorers supplying poll data non-stop to the 14 planetary outposts and stations. This constant data feed has dominated the election for Misty Summit Surgery and the Cooperative Culture Ministry.
Yang Camp in LHS 1848 has approved elections today despite a number of legal challenges by SDKM 1-616 Allied Limited. This private military contractor in LHS 1848 also specialized in the distribution of specialized legacy firmware, and Yang Camp is its main distribution center for this and the other two star systems it has operations in.
We wanted a war, not an election. This star system can be easily manipulated, due to its low population. Also, the LHS 1848 state incorporated is in a state of boom. How can they say they want a fair and balanced election? How can we? When they have credits to burn and our commanders are already engaged on 2 other conflicts across the stars. This judgment feels like an execution order, but we will not give up. I promise you this: we will fight for each and every vote, and if we lose, we will not accept anything less than war when the time comes.
Cycle 2 of the election for Crown Camp and pollsters still have not received the poll data from either side. The Independent Electoral Commission, that have just announced a new sponsored deal with the Remines Crimson Federal Industry, have said they will end this election early if the information flow does not start soon.
The Kier gang are still in a famine state this cycle, with its newest leader Marie Isabel Sartori casting doubt on the promises that were made in the Kier 7 meeting.
They came to Sharp Oasis, relaxing in the Zero-G spa, and drinking from Hatton mugs, and making promises that they will save us. Yet signal sources and distribution centre are still activated. We see commanders far and wide dropping in and supplying them, but we don't see the food come to our hungry. The Confederacy of Kier insult us and nothing is done. Words are cheap, commanders. It is time to show us your action. It is time to reach out and support those who are less fortunate than you.
LHS 1848 Blue Ring's Jade Macronal, the current keeper of the ring, has stepped down today, saying that she cannot in good faith continue while her commanders die on the docking bays of the privileged few. The search for a new keeper has begun and is expected to take the standard 4 cycles.
The Fatherhood News understands that Inky of the Manamaya Rats has been taken to the medical bay on Cameron Survey in Manamaya. Fatherhood doctors have as of yet given a statement. The Manamaya Rats have stated that Knox, the daughter of the former President Piercy, is now the alpha.
The aristocrats of NLTT 14,879 have now officially fallen to their lowest level of influence, while the jet boys of NLTT 14,879 continue to enjoy cycle upon cycle increase in their share price.
Our final news today is from Mentor, where today celebrated the final days of Harvest Fest, with the Fatherhood hosting lavish parties in every star system to thank the terraformers of Mentor. Did you not attend one of those parties, Hannah?
Oh yes, I did, and I know I shouldn't say this, but the Fatherhood governor didn't thank the terraformers in his speech. He kept droning on and on about himself.
Well, you at least had Commander Jack Jailbird Harper with you. I am sure he brought the fireworks and trumpets.
Let's not open that subject up. He was quite upset that he didn't get invited.
I am sure Central Command will take the correct action to remediate that situation.
Yes, and I would like to thank the soon-to-be former governor for his invite.
So eloquently put. For the Fatherhood News, I am Jim Cooper.
And I'm Hannah Williams. Remember, commanders, don't dream of the stars, fly amongst them. Thank you and good night.